So I hear you're still struggling to find high runes. Well, high runes are incredibly hard to find. I know you'll hear people say,
"Oh, I found 7 high runes in one day."
okay, they might be telling the truth, they might be the luckiest people in the world, or just remember, you don't want to believe every random asshole on the internet. So don't have your hopes dashed down because it sounds like everyone's finding a bazillion high runes and you're not. They are incredibly uncommon, and just like every other content creator, I've put out a list of the best places in order to farm high runes. But like I said, you don't want to just believe every asshole you see on the internet, including me. But yeah, if you can't just believe what everyone's saying, then what are you gonna do? Well, I actually came up with a good idea here. What I did is actually polled my audience on where they actually do find high runes. Not where people say is good, but where they literally, actually do farm and where they actually find them at. So that's what we're going over here right today. It is all the poll results from actually what I had to do was 3 different polls on my YouTube channel. Now I had to do 3 different polls because they would not give enough options for the areas that were the best magic find places. So as we get into it here, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe up so you never miss any of the future videos, and let's get after it. Alrighty, we'll kick things off here by looking at the first poll that I did right here. Now, I picked the most common locations that I believe people would be farming for high runes. Now we picked the Chaos Sanctuary, the Cows, Travinkel, and Lower Kuros. I know Lower Kuros is mainly for single player, but if you're in a full game, you can jump to Lower Kuros, teleport around, and hopefully find something in there. Now, it was a dead even heat right here, 24% even for both Cows and the Chaos Sanctuary. So that's no surprise. In my opinion, those looked like the 2 best, and everyone else agrees. That's mainly where almost 50% of people are finding their high runes. Trav coming in 3rd on this particular one at 12%, and Lower Kuros at 8%. But there is an important note at the very bottom for the 5th and final option. I put other because I didn't know maybe people are farming in other locations. Well, actually, more than either Chaos or Cows, 32% of people said it was actually other locations where they were finding their high runes. This got me thinking, I wonder what these other locations are. Who knows if 32%, what if 30% of that is all from one, or maybe they're split between some other locations that would actually bump them up even higher than Trav and stuff. So, you know what I decided? I had to make another poll, and let's see what that data found. So for the next poll I made, out of these alternative farming locations, which places are you finding high runes? And this one was actually a big shock to me. So I picked some other super common farming locations. Eldritch and Shank. A lot of people go kill Neelathek and he has a bunch of minions. Could be a good spot for finding runes. Arcane Sanctuary for their ghost farming. Obviously, a lot of people know about that. River of Flames and the Worldstone Keep. The full Worldstone Keep. All of the different levels have tons of monsters. It's incredibly hard. But due to the monster density and the high level and all that good stuff, you can definitely find a bunch of high runes up in that joint. So out of these locations, I was a little bit shocked on this one. The River of Flames came in at 38%. So over a third out of these 5 options here picked the River of Flames, which I thought was a little crazy. What I'm assuming is people, when they're going to go do the Chaos Sanctuary, they say, hey, why not go back and do the whole River of Flames too? Because it's essentially just as good of a farming location as the Chaos Sanctuary. Now, the next spot that came in second on this particular one is the Arcane Sanctuary, and this is not surprising. I've actually started to, I'm not going to say fallen in love with it necessarily, but I just recently farmed the Arcane Sanctuary, and I actually found several mid runes and even high rune there, just farming on players 1 difficulty even. So I am not surprised that that one's fallen at number 2 here. On top of that, because you're farming the ghost packs, they are not immune to anything except for physical. So if you're a sorceress teleporting around fast, you can literally be any sorceress and take out these ghosts, no problem. Now, Neelathek's always been kind of hard, but because the snakes kind of got nerfed, or actually they got rid of the bug that's always been in Diablo 2, Neelathek can be much easier to farm. I'm kind of surprised it's not higher. Maybe people haven't, quote-unquote, caught on to that little glitch fix yet. And Eldritch and Shank is so incredibly easy. There's good monster density. I'm kind of surprised maybe that River of Flames took over so much there, but it is what it is, I suppose. And I did want to note the Worlds Don't Keep is 15%. The Worlds Don't Keep, though, is incredibly difficult. There's all different type of immunities. You can run across those dreaded souls that can chop you down super quick, so I'm not surprised that that one wasn't at the very top. But now, this gets a little bit more difficult here because now I have two polls with kind of separate results that I gotta look and see. Now, is River of Flames and the Arcane Sanctuary actually gonna come out above Cows and the Chaos Sanctuary? Because they're separate, it's hard to tell. So what I decided to do actually is take the two top ones from both of those polls and bring them together for one ultimate end-all be-all. Which of these locations is actually the most common for people to find their high runes at? Now let's take a look at that one. So now the big shebang, the grand finale, the insert word for the final here. For the last poll, we're going with Cows, Chaos Sanctuary, the Arcane Sanctuary, and the River of Flames. And then at the bottom, I actually put never found high runes at any of these locations because it was actually shocking how many in the comments is, I've never found high runes. What's a high rune? Never heard of it. Blah, 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 blah. Different alterations or different types of those comments down below. So there is actually a lot of people still really struggling to find high runes. That's kind of part of it why I decided to make this video. Now, number 1 and 2 are no surprise. I'm maybe slightly surprised on where most people are finding high runes, but that is the number 1 Chaos Sanctuary. Now, I guess maybe people are running sea bales, so there's a lot of monster density in there, so the high runes are dropping while you're also leveling. So I guess when I think about it, it kind of makes sense. Now, Cows is coming at number 2 with 28%, so 5% behind the Chaos Sanctuary there. They're roughly pretty close though, you know, right around a third of the people each responding those two, close to a third anyways. So that's not surprising. Coming in at number 3 here is the Arcane Sanctuary. It is way behind though at 8%. I feel like the Arcane Sanctuary is actually pretty good with taking out the ghost packs and taking out the Death Lords or whatever those caster death ghouls or the whatever those ghouls are called in the Arcane Sanctuary. I feel like maybe early on in the game that's actually a really great place to go to build up some wealth to get your gear better until you can just like slaughter the Chaos Sanctuary and the Bale runs. Now the River of Flames is only coming in at 3% on this one, so even though it was a really high percentage on the last one, when you put it up against Cows or Chaos Sanctuary, people really look at that and just go, no, not really finding a whole lot out there. Now what is noteworthy, almost the highest one on this poll is the very last choice, never found any high runes at any of these locations. So just remember out there, everybody, I know some people find a lot of high runes, maybe you've been playing for like 20 straight years. You know exactly how to build your character so that you find high runes super fast and super early, but not everybody does. There's a lot of returning players that are coming back for nostalgia's sake, or people who are playing it for the very first time. They still need our help out there, so don't talk a bunch of shit about them. Actually give them real good tips, advice, maybe even help them out, throw them a Titan's Revenge here and there, help their character out. Toss them a Viper Magi if you think somebody needs it. So keep that in mind when you're out there playing. Be nice to everybody. So hopefully me compiling this data here maybe helped you out a little bit, understanding actually where people are really farming high runes. So you see that the Cows in the Chaos Sanctuary are the most common. It's not necessarily surprising, but you know, there you have it, official. And I do want to mention there was several thousand votes here from my YouTube channel. When you add them all up between the polls, I think it was something like 16 or 17,000 votes between the polls. So I feel like this is a great sampling of the Diablo 2 Resurrected community. So I hope taking a look at this video helped you out. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe up so you never miss any of the future videos or live streams, because I live stream right here on this channel. So peace out, YouTube, and don't forget, keep slaying.